Hey, everybody. Cheers. Happy Advent. Advent for Atheists. Today is Sunday, December 15th, and the subject is joy. My favorite subject, or one of my favorite subjects. Hi, Timmy Gibson, former fundamental evangelical Bible thumping, tongue talking, spirit filled pastor. Did that for 30 years, spent 48 years as a Christian. I'm now 55, so deconstructed about 6 years ago. I have a lot of videos talking about all of that, but I wanted to take this particular Advent season and make it fun for even atheists. And if you're like me, I call myself an agnostic, atheist as it relates to the Bible God. Um, and I know a lot of us, including myself, I don't fit into any box. I never fit in when I was Christian. I never fit into the typical Christian box. And now, as an atheist, I don't fit into many atheist boxes. Not that I'm necessarily expected to, but it seems like all atheists kind of, they don't like, not all, again, not all, but it just seems like Christmas is, it's a Christian holiday, so we don't really celebrate that. But atheists go all out for Halloween. Nothing wrong with that either. I like Halloween, but I like Christmas and I like Thanksgiving and I like Easter. Clearly, I don't believe in the fictional stories, but I still like the things that surround it. So today, the third Sunday of Advent with joy, man, I have said this before. I have more joy in my life than I ever did as a Christian. It's just a fact. I can't explain it outside of I'm pretty joyful, happy dude all my life. And the only thing that changed is now I just don't believe in the imaginary friend that I grew up with. Like, that's it. I still have joy in my heart. And so, you know, no longer is it the joy of the Lord is my strength. Like, that's not the case for me anymore. But I do have joy in my heart. And I don't, you know, sometimes I wonder how to cultivate joy. Much like the last one I just did on peace, it's an inside job. Peace is something that comes from within. Joy is something that comes from within. I, you know, I am just like you. I've had flat tires. I've had my car break down. I've had things broken into. I mean, we've all had crappy things happen to us, but I can have joy in that time. Now I'm not joyful about what happened that might have not been good, but I can be joyful in the process, like, does that make sense? Like, I just really, really, really am convinced that joy, just like peace, and just like hope, really, like all of them, it's from the inside, especially in right now, right? We're post election and all the stuff going on. I'm still hope filled. I've still got peace in my heart. We're yet to see how it'll go. That's fine. But I still have joy in my heart. I just, I'm not going to give anyone power over my joy, over my life, how I experience life. I'm just not. I just don't live that way. And so, post election, I wasn't like crying myself to sleep and all up in a tizzy and it's all over now. I'm moving to Canada. Blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah, of course, right? I mean, it's like, well, that happened. Right? Here we go. Right? Like, okay. So, whether what happened was what you wanted to happen or whether it wasn't what you wanted to happen, um, you know, it's like you're still in charge of your own life and joy still comes from within you, right? I'm responsible for my joy, not the freaking government, not like, right? Like, that's not clearly. You better hopefully don't get your joy or no joy for, like, hopefully your joy comes from within you. If it comes from external stuff, that means every time something bad happens or something doesn't go your way, you're not going to be happy. Well, then you're going to be labeled what we call a moody person. And no, like, no one's loving moody people. Like, that's no fun. With every wind and wave, they're either happy when things are good and terribly sad when things aren't good, and they're just up and down, tossed to and fro with every wind and wave. Like, that's no way to live life, man. Like, you gotta have some constitution. Yeah, we wanted the election to go a certain way. Maybe it didn't happen the way you wanted it. That's right. Like, bummer. But still, it shouldn't take the joy from your heart. Now, frustrating, yes. A little worried, fine. Like, all that stuff, that's normal. Okay, it's all normal. But if you're allowing that stuff to ruin your mood for more than a day, like, just in my opinion, that's too long. That's too long. I can be upset about something, but what is, right? I've never understood when people complain about the rain. Yeah, like, that's not going to change it. It's still raining. There's nothing you can do about it. Just get an umbrella, wear some galoshes, right? Like, you know what I mean? Now, I get it. I will get all dressed up in a suit, and my hair's all ready for some event, and I don't, and my car's parked outside, and I got to get to the car, right? And it's like, oh, dang it, it's raining. I don't want to get my suit all wet. Don't want it messing up my hair. I get it. I get it. But it's just like, it is what it is. It's raining. So do the best I can to prepare for the rain. It's the same thing, I think, when it comes to joy. It is from within. And, as a Christian, I don't even know what the joy was about, to be honest with you, because now, I view it all as fictional. So I don't know. It's like placebo. I mean, I used to say the joy of the Lord is my strength. Now it's just joy is my strength. Like, I get strength from my own joy in my own life, in my own heart, from my own head. Like, it just is what it is. So, as an atheist or agnostic, whatever you are, if you're just beginning your deconstruction, by the way, cuss and discuss down below. Like, subscribe, do all the stuff. It helps the channel. But I mean, there's no reason that we as atheists can't celebrate various holidays. And I'm sure there's going to be people that disagree with this, and that's fine. Like, it's a beautiful world. We don't all fit into one box. It's, what I mean? Like, I just don't believe, like, if you're an atheist, you got to believe all of these things and then not believe all these things. To me, that I don't believe atheism is not a religion, but that if that's your thought, then that is a religion to you. If, as an atheist, you got to only believe these, like, if you're atheist, you got to believe this, you got to believe in these 17 fundamental truths of an atheist. Well, that's the same thing as if you're a Christian, you got to believe these things right here. And if not, well, I'm going to go off and start my own religion. No, guys, I don't believe in God. Okay? I definitely don't believe in the Bible God. That's why I say I'm atheist as it relates to the Bible God, because I for sure 100% don't believe in any man-made God. But is there some supreme being out there in the universe? I don't know, nor do you. That's why Christopher Hitchens, I believe, has said, or is it Ricky Gervais? Technically, everybody's agnostic. Like, everybody, even believers, everybody's agnostic, because no one knows whether you, like, if you say, I know, no, you don't know. You believe, and that's fine. You have faith, that's fine, but you don't know it. Okay, you just have faith, or you believe, or you whatever. That's fine. But clearly, everyone on planet Earth, we're all agnostic because we don't actually know. But how I interpret being agnostic versus atheist, then, do you know if there's a God? No, I don't know. Okay, no one knows. I'm agnostic. Atheist means if I ask you, do you believe in God? That's easy. It's either yes or no. Okay. Now, which God? And that's another conversation, right? Of course, I get it. That's pretty nuanced, semantics, all that. But you asked me, do you believe in God? No, I don't believe in God, because I'm assuming you're probably meaning, do I believe in the Christian God? No, I don't. But I'm agnostic because I don't know what's out there. Anyway, I'm off track. Joy comes from within. Whether you're Christian or not, you can have joy in your heart. And I know this because I was a Christian and I had quite a bit of joy in there. And now, as an agnostic or atheist, I have joy in my heart now. I mean, it is a very unique experience. I'll be honest. As you can tell, I talk a lot about this twice a week, every Sunday, every Wednesday. I do a video, and it's very therapeutic for me because it is wild to me. It really is to have lived a evangelical Christian life. And yeah, I was really I was really saved. The reality is, of course, I wasn't really saved. There is no such thing as that. So technically, when people say he never really was a Christian, well, neither are you. Like, no one's really. We are by practice, we are by belief. So back in the day, I really believed in the Christian message. I really believed it. So much so that I went to Bible college and then graduated Bible college and became a preacher. And I did that for 30 years. So believed it wholeheartedly, 100% believed it. I was 100% convinced. I thought people like Richard Dawkins, Sam Harris, Christopher Hitchens, Bennett, like all those people, man. Shermer, Michael Shermer, those people were all the devil. They were working for the devil. They were working for the other side. And I had to preach against that. So it's like I remember feeling this angst towards all the ungodliness, which was anybody not Christian, all the ungodliness in the world, all the sinners that need to repent. Like, that was something that I believed 100%. I was sold out, radical about the message of Jesus. And so it is wild for me to be now on the other. Some breakfast is cut loose. I'm like, what is that? I thought I flossed good enough. It is very wild to me. It's so curious how I could have been so convinced of all the evangelical Christian malarkey, and now over here going, like, shaking my head at myself, like, wow, that is fascinating. Like, that's so curious. So yeah, I had joy in my heart as part of my personality. I'm a happy, laughy, fun kind of a person. This is just my normal vibe. I'm not like this all the time. I have bad days and I can get in a mood. I can get irritated. I can get frustrated. Like, I have all of the same experiences that everyone else in this world has. Okay. So, don't let this fool you. I'm not like all the time, 24/7. My wife and I were actually talking about that today. And, she can tell you that, yeah, that's my bent. I'm definitely like that. So what is it? And who cares about that? I'm just telling you, when I think about joy, the topic for today, third Sunday of Advent, for atheists, joy it's an inside job. It comes from within. So the only thing I can tell you is most of life really it is about ourselves. And what I mean by that is, the good life, it's not outside in. Yes, there are things that can frustrate us, make life harder, not as easy, clearly, right? Government wise, law wise, like there's a lot of things that can really challenge our happiness, our joy. Of course, I'm not, I get that. But I do not agree with that they're totally in charge of my life. Like I can still experience some joy in the midst of not a joyful situation. Okay. Now, clearly, I don't live in a war torn country. I don't live, you know what I mean? Like I've, I got a pretty good life, So joy is probably easier for those of us that maybe live in a free country or in a good society or whatever. Joy can be a little bit easier to cultivate. Where it can be really tough is for those of you that live in really bad areas. And I only address this because I've been, like, subscribe, cuss and discuss, do all the stuff here. I've been so encouraged or whatever by people that from Ukraine, from the Middle East, like all over the world, that people that watch the videos. It touches my heart. And so, sometimes when I'm talking, I'm like, man, like I'm in America, and I live a pretty good life. I never hear bombs going off. I never, what I mean? Like, I can't even imagine what it would be like to live in other places in the world where it's just mayhem and crazy. But I would say this topic of joy is something that is much more difficult to cultivate in those environments. I mean, of course, way more difficult to cultivate in that environment. Yet still, I would still propose and even challenge to say it's still something that we have to cultivate within. Remember, it's a quote from somewhere, I forget who said it, but life's not so much about what happens to us, it's how we respond to what happens to us. And I really, and cuss and discuss below, I mean, I just really believe in that sentiment, and I've had, I lost my biological father when I was 21, 22. I lost my grandmother I was really close to her. My younger sister passed away. Um, my grandpa, who spent a lot of times really critically involved in my life as a young, my mom was 16 when she had me. So clearly her parents were very involved in my upbringing, and he's since passed away. So I've experienced like crappy things, like I've experienced not pleasant things. uh that's a part of life, right? Those, like, you can't expect to not experience those things. And that was even so, what's such a weird thing about the Christian teaching, almost like there was this almost, and I taught this, but there was this almost this, like, with God at the center of your life, all the pains of the world won't get to you. Well, that's bull crap. That's BS. That's not true. That's just absolutely not true. And I can tell you for absolute certain, even now as an agnostic, atheist as it relates to the Bible God, I have challenges to my joy, but at the end of the day, I am the one responsible whether I am joy filled or not. Now, that doesn't mean I'm joyful about a certain situation, right? Like, it wasn't too long ago, I went out to my car and my car had been broken into, window shattered, all of that. I was not happy. I was not happy at all, as is normal. Uh, and I remember just when I first saw it, it makes me, I get all agitated and violent feeling inside. Like, if I could have come out at the time they were breaking in, all that stuff. I took a deep breath and I was like, all right, I'm not going to let these thieves, because I didn't have anything in the car. I don't leave anything valuable in my car. not in this day and age. You just can't do it. So I didn't have anything in there. It was frustrating. I had to make an appointment, get it in, get a new window. I mean, just all of a sudden now my life's being dictated by the thieves. These thieves now are making my life a hassle. And I took a deep breath and I was like, okay. I went through my car to see if there's anything damaged, what was up and all that. And then, I called, I made an appointment to get the deal. And I was irritated and frustrated about the money that I was having to spend. I didn't, that wasn't in my budget to go get a whole new window and yada, yada. Got the appointment done, got it done. Of course, then the windows are all tinted. So after I got the window in, then I had to go to another place and get the window tinted. And there was some damage to the car. It was frustrating. But I remember thinking to myself, okay, all right, this happened. Let's get it fixed. Nothing I can do to change it. Like, it's already done. It done did it. And so I'm not going to let it ruin my day. Right? So I understand when our joy is challenged, but I guess I just want to challenge all of us to be in charge of your own joy, right? And if you can remove yourself from things that don't bring you joy, then try to do that. Sometimes you can't, right? Sometimes it's so close you can't. But if you can, control as many things as you possibly control. We can't control everything. Right? I couldn't control someone breaking in my car. Clearly I couldn't control that. But I can control how I respond and how angry I get. You know, there's a part of me now. I wanted to take a baseball bat. Isn't that a weird? I don't know why I felt this way, but like when I first saw it, it just made me want to take a baseball bat. you know, um, what would that have done except then just compound all of the frustration, right? Advent for Atheists. Joy. Cultivate it in your heart and your mind. All right. Peace.